or a daydreamer? One of my favorite quotes is, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." How beautiful are your dreams of your weight, health, and well-being future? Can you clearly see that vision of the body you desire? Is the picture in your head vivid and full of color, or are your dreams dull, uninspiring, and lifeless? Do you dream of a leaner, fitter, stronger, healthier body, or have you allowed life to stop you believing that your thoughts and dreams can be achieved? We all dream, however, we don't all dream equally. Some people dream by night and wake up in the day and proceed to plan and act and make their dreams a reality. These individuals are the ones you see running early in the morning, working out in the gym, eating healthy foods, for they are the dream makers. Some people dream by night and continue to only dream during the day. They go through the day wishing for their dreams but not acting on them. These individuals are the daydreamers. Are you a dream maker or a daydreamer? To dream is a wonderful thing. However, we must not forget that we have to wake up in the day and make those dreams a reality. Don't allow life, your past setbacks, or any negative thoughts you may have to resign your dreams only to your head. You can have that body you want, that weight you require. You can have that flat stomach. You can live that healthy, long lifestyle. You just have to believe and want it enough to act. Do and become the image of what you desire. For as a man dreams and believes in his heart, so is he or she.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lean Bites Live. I think it's the 5th edition. Yeah, I think it's the 5th edition. I hope you had a great day. Hope you had a great week so far. Let me turn the comments on. So if there's anybody here who wants you, just say hello, because it's nice to say hello. It'd be great to know who's on. Yeah, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube and you fancy saying hello, just say hello. Or throughout the show, if you want to make a comment, just feel free to make a comment. Well, you know, we're in the middle of the week, and with an imminent potential lockdown facing us, I don't know how you guys feel about that. You know, I really don't know how you feel about that. As I like to say is, look, you can't control whether you have a lockdown. You really can't control whether or not you get coronavirus, because coronavirus can happen just by you meeting the wrong person. But the one thing that you can control is your health. That is what you can control, how you manage your health and look after yourself. So if you do get coronavirus, you are in the best shape. And this is what this podcast is about, Lean Bites Live. It focuses on the Lean MindBody Method. My name is Ken. I am the Lean Mind Body Coach. I've written a book called the Lean MindBody Method, and it details 4 areas which I use to transform my life. Good evening, Mr. P. I like to see. Good to see you on there again. I see Mr. P. Good evening, sir. And I use it to transform my life. And what basically happened with me was this. This is how I looked before the Lean MindBody Method. So this is how I looked. And, you know, I was able to lose over 50 pounds in 6 months using the Lean MindBody Method. And these Lean Bite shows are about introducing that methodology to you, and hopefully that you can use some of those principles to be able to improve your weight and your health in different ways. On Monday, I hold a podcast called Make Health Your Habit, and that was fantastic. We had a great show with Connie on. We were talking about juicing and whole food eating. We'll be back on again on Monday with another great guest. I'll tell you about that a little bit later on in the show. Today is a personal show, because I'm going to talk about a journey that I went through, and hopefully me speaking about the journey that I went through will be able to help you navigate some of the challenges that you may have. Now, look, we're facing a potential lockdown again, and this coronavirus has brought out, you know, characters in people they didn't really realize, and we all cope with this period in different ways. I mean, for many people, it's been a year of isolation. It's been a year we can't go out, we can't socialize in the way we used to, and it's been a year of isolation. And people deal with isolation in different ways. And one of the ways that people deal with it is food, because food can be a comfort. It's great in the moment, but the sad thing about when you're eating the wrong foods is that it will affect your body and be detrimental to your health in so many ways. And studies are already showing, people are suffering from strokes and heart attacks, and their health is declining because of the coronavirus period. And people are putting on incredible amount of weight. And when you do that, it makes you liable for a number of illnesses. And one of those illnesses is diabetes. Now, before you get to diabetes, there's something called pre-diabetes. And it means when you're in that borderline area just before you get there. And that's where I was. And today's presentation is all about diabetes, pre-diabetes. We're not going to be talking so much about reversing diabetes, because when you are a diabetic, you're on medication or on metformin and other forms of medication to control your insulin level. And the methodology I'm going to show you also controls your insulin level. So when you're following this way of living, which I'm going to share with you, it's better if you are a diabetic to have supervision. It's not impossible. There are many people who have used it to reverse their diabetes. But today I'm strictly speaking about pre-diabetes. So let me just share with you the presentation for today. So we're talking about diabetes, and I just at the end of the presentation, I really hope you get an understanding what diabetes is. Now, look, there are millions of people around the world living with diabetes. That's because there are no real symptoms. They don't even know. They don't even know they are suffering from diabetes. They don't know they're on the borderline. I mean, when you're suffering from diabetes, there are some definite clear signs. Let me turn the comments on here. So if anybody wants to comment while I'm presenting here, there are some definite clear signs when you're suffering from diabetes. But pre-diabetes, the signs are not so clear. Now, pre-diabetes is when your blood sugar levels are at a constant high rate, but not high enough to be classed as diabetes. They haven't reached the 7 millimoles. Your blood sugar is measured in millimoles. So I'll explain to you the range in a moment. So pre-diabetes is when your blood sugar is high. It's a cause for concern, but it's not high enough so that you can be diagnosed with diabetes. So these are the ranges. So below 5.5 millimoles, it's the normal range. It's between about 4 and 5.5. You're in the normal range. As I said, your blood glucose is measured in millimoles. Now, when you go up to pre-diabetes, your blood millimole level is between 5.5 and say 6.9 and just touching on the 7. So if you go and get a test, even a fasting blood glucose test you can do at home, if your blood glucose level is between say 5.5 and 7, you would be classed as being in the pre-diabetic range. That means you are borderline diabetic. Now, if your numbers are above 7, then you will be classed as diabetic. All right, you'll be, yes, Paulette. Thank you very much, Paulette, for your, hope you find the whole presentation interesting, because it affects men and it affects women. So if your blood sugar level is above 7, you're a diabetic, and that's where you're in danger. I mean, when you understand about diabetes, it affects every organ in your body. Many people don't even find out they got diabetes until they go to their optician, because it affects your eyesight and your vision. They're getting up every single night and They find they're urinating all the time. And men, if there are men watching this, a lot of men realize they have diabetes because they start to suffer from impotence. Yes, diabetes will affect your sex life, but that's possibly for another show. So you don't want to get diabetes, even though it can be reversed. I mean, there was a time when doctors thought that diabetes was a non-reversible condition, but now it can definitely be reversed. But today we're going to focus on pre-diabetes, and that's what happens is when your blood sugar level gets too high. What happens is your body starts the process of not being able to make use of the insulin or 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 distribute the insulin around your body, and you start suffering something called insulin resistance, which then can lead to diabetes. And it causes too much blood because what happens is when your blood sugar, glucose, is toxic for your body, insulin's job is to remove the glucose from your body. But when you start becoming insulin resistant, when your body's ability to remove that glucose is impaired, and that's when you can start developing full-blown diabetes. So pre-diabetes, as I said to you, is a precursor to diabetes. So if you're being diagnosed with diabetes and you just leave it and you think, nothing, then it could lead to full-blown diabetes. That's why it's so important to catch it at this stage when you won't need any form of medication whatsoever. It can be adjusted. And the great thing, and well, I won't say the first, but I'll tell you about the great thing. As I said to you, there are so many dangers about suffering from diabetes, and one of them is heart disease and stroke, and there are so many negative side effects from suffering from diabetes. But there's some good news. There's some definitely good news. And the good news is that if you change your lifestyle, you can avoid, even if you have pre-diabetes, even if you're on the high pre-diabetic numbers, you can avoid it. You know, you can avoid getting full-blown diabetes, but you need to change your lifestyle. You need to change your eating, your thinking, and your lifestyle, and you can reverse your pre-diabetic state just like I did. And in a moment I'm going to just share with you a little video of me and how I did my pre-diabetic state, how I managed to reverse it. Now, are you at risk? Now, I'm going to give you some risk factors which say you're at risk for diabetes, but you when these risk factors still apply to pre-diabetes. All right. So if you're in any of these risk factor categories, you're also at risk from pre-diabetes. And the thing about, as I said to you about pre-diabetes and pre-diabetes, there are no symptoms. So you could be watching this now, and because you haven't had your blood sugar tested in a while, you could be suffering from pre-diabetes. Now, there are a number of risk factors: family history, age, weight, and I'll go through a few of them just now. Diabetes and pre-diabetes, the risk increases with age. You know, I'm 57 years old now, so the risk of me contracting diabetes or pre-diabetes has increased. So if you're more mature in age, you're at a higher risk of contracting pre-diabetes and diabetes, simply because the way your body metabolizes the food you eat. All right. Now, if you're, these are some stark differences. If you're white and over 40, you're at a higher risk of contracting diabetes, and conversely, pre-diabetes. But if you're black and over 25, studies show you're at a high risk of contracting diabetes and pre-diabetes. That would mean if you're only 25, you're at a high risk of, and from black or Asian, you're at high risk of contracting pre-diabetes, which can then lead to diabetes. If you're overweight, you're definitely at a high risk of contracting diabetes. So, you know, all the men and conversely the women out there who have the large stomachs and you haven't had your blood glucose tested, go and you have no idea what levels you are, go and get them tested, because having a big stomach is a big sign that you are probably in the pre-diabetic stage leading on to diabetes. This is a big sign. This stomach here is a huge sign that you really need to take in consideration. If your stomach is on the large side, go and get your blood sugar tested. And here's an interesting, if you've got a family history, like my mum had, she used to call it sugar, from the Caribbean. They called it, oh, my sugar, my sugar. But if your parent has diabetes, if your brother has had diabetes or your sister has had diabetes, you are 2 to 6 times more greater at risk for diabetes, and conversely, pre-diabetes. So if you have a history of diabetes in your family, again, pre-diabetes is something which you could be more prone to get. And here is one. If you were pregnant and you had something called gestational diabetes, because there are women, when they become pregnant, they suffer from what's called gestational diabetes. You're also at risk for getting diabetes again. But sadly, your child is also at a greater risk of getting diabetes if that child was born to a mother who had gestational diabetes. Yes, as Paulette said, yes, we have it on dad's side of your family. Well, Paulette, that would mean that there is as it said, you're 2 to 6 times more at risk from diabetes. I don't know what your numbers are, Paulette, or if you had them checked, but if you do have a family history, I would suggest you go and get them checked. So these are some other risk factors. Look, if you live a sedentary lifestyle, you just go home and you just sit in front of the sofa, you don't exercise, again, you're at a higher risk of pre-diabetes and diabetes. If you eat crap, if you eat fast food all the time, if your diet is absolutely terrible, definitely you're at a greater risk of developing pre-diabetes and diabetes. And you have to ask yourself, in all the risk factors which I've shown you, are you more prone, do you think, to pre-diabetes? Because we're talking about pre-diabetes today. If this presentation has sparked some curiosity in you, go and get yourself tested. It's a simple thing. Or you can go onto Amazon and you can buy a blood glucose monitor, and it doesn't cost that much. And you can take what's called a fasting blood sugar count, and that means you don't eat. Before you go to bed, you might have something, but you don't eat in the morning, and you take your blood sugar before you eat something. You don't eat nothing at all, and you take a fasting blood sugar, and you can do that yourself. It's easy enough to go to the doctor, but you can go on Amazon and you can buy a blood sugar. Don't buy. I wouldn't advocate the ones you put in your mouth. A blood, just slight little prick on your finger, and it can give you the reading. And don't just take it once. Take it 2 or 3 times over the course of a few days, and then that will give you a consistent reading, and then you'll be able to tell your range. And if you're anything, as I said, between 5.5 and 7, then you're in that pre-diabetic range, and you need to make some lifestyle changes to address that, which I'll share some of those lifestyle changes with you in a moment. But I thought what I'd share with you now, let me take these comments off here, is I had my journey of being a pre-diabetic. And when I had that journey, in the Lean MindBody Method, which focuses on low carb nutrition, which is really sugar and refined carbohydrate reduction, sleep, which is also linked to diabetes, exercise, and mindset. And I went on this journey initially to lose weight, but it also helped with my pre-diabetic state, and it reversed it, and it was such a surprise to me. And I made a video about that, and I thought I'd just share with you. It's only about a 3-minute video long, and I thought I'd share with you a short clip from when I was expressing my thoughts about how my diet reversed my pre-diabetic state. So I'm going to share that video with you now. I went to the doctor for my annual checkup, and he said to me, look, your numbers are high. You really need to watch your diet.
and what you're eating. I didn't really take him seriously, to be honest with you. But on the following visit, he reminded me, after taking my blood sugar again, that my blood sugar level was in the 6.7, 6.8 range. Now that is just too off being diagnosed as a diabetic, which you have to reach about 7 for that. So I walked out of that surgery in shock. I thought, wow. He actually said to me, look, if I don't manage my diet properly or do something, then I would be on diabetic drugs like metformin for the rest of my life. In his mind, diabetes was a non-reversible condition, so I would be on drugs for the rest of my life. And that's the message he left me with. So I left that surgery determined to do something about my condition, and it was only exercise that I thought of that could help. Now, this was at a time when my mother had just passed, and I'd put on an incredible amount of weight through various emotional issues, which had led me to discover a low-carb ketogenic diet, which I went on, and it successfully managed to drop the weight. The weight just dropped off me. It was amazing in absolutely no time how quickly the weight dropped off me. But being the person I am, if I'm on that journey, I want to understand it. So I took time to really study and understand what a low-carb ketogenic diet was all about. And I was absolutely amazed at what I was reading. This was far more than a diet that helped with your weight. This was an all-round diet that can help with so many health conditions. And one of them was diabetes. I read that so many people had reversed their diabetic state by being on a low-carb ketogenic diet. So I thought, well, if it helped them, then maybe it could have helped me. And I knew one of the ways I could find out was by taking my fasting blood sugar levels. So I did it one morning, and I took my fasting blood sugar levels, and I looked at the monitor, and I was absolutely amazed. I mean, it showed a reading of 4.4. Now that is well within the normal range. A big drop from 6.7. I was so shocked. I thought, well, possibly something may be wrong. I waited another 7 days, and I took another reading, and again it was way down in the normal range. The low carb diet I'd gone on just to lose weight and also reverse my pre-diabetic state. And I was so thankful. And this is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about a low-carb ketogenic diet.
You see, that I just thought I'd share with you, and that was just me a few years ago. This was me only after being on the diet. I think I was on the diet about 6 months, and I made that video of my shock and surprise of how the diet that I was on not only made me lose all this weight, but it also reversed my diabetic state. And you know, as I said, I've heard so many stories about reversing diabetes. So I really want to encourage you, if you are worried about your blood sugar levels, if you're worried about pre-diabetic, or you're being diagnosed as pre-diabetic, you don't need any medication. You don't need to really worry. You just need to accept the fact that, look, you're going to have to change your lifestyle and change your diet, and within a very, very short period of time, you could reverse that. And one of the ways you could do that is by changing your diet. Now, if you go to my website, which is www.the leanmindbodymethodcoach.com, and you just register on, there is a main list there. Within a few minutes, you will get in your inbox a 5-day low carb recipe. It's a very detailed 5-day recipe. It includes a dessert recipe. It even includes my jerk sauce recipe. And you can just try it. You can just see what it's like to eat foods that will bring your blood sugar level down, and see that you can have tasty, what I call finger licking, low carb cooking, yes, without sacrificing taste, because we all eat. Let's be honest, food is not just about sustenance, it's about taste. And you know, one of the reasons people don't want to change their diet is because they think they're going to lose taste. But with this kind of diet, I've never ate a boring meal. So just try it. Just go to the website, register on the website, and you will get this meal plan. It's a 5-day meal plan, and you can try it. and see if you like eating the food, which I'm sure you will. And I assure you, following this plan within a short period of time, if you are a pre-diabetic, you will normalize your blood sugar levels. If you're a diabetic, I can work with you, but it takes a lot more supervision if you're a diabetic. So just be clear: if you're a diabetic and you start a low carb diet, because a low carb diet does reduce your insulin, does reduce your blood sugar, lower your blood sugar, and you're taking medication to lower your blood sugar, it means you could go hypo. So you have to be very, very careful and monitor your medication and what you're eating. So that's just a word of warning for you if you're actually suffering from diabetes. But if you're a pre-diabetic, there's no problem. So just go to the website and register and try that meal plan, or just Google low carb recipes and just try it for a period. But certainly start to reduce your sugar, the sugar drinks, your refined carbohydrates. Just reduce it, and you'll have so many benefits. Let me put that back on. I know Mr. P just mentioned something there. I think he said I'm just not pre-diabetic there. All right. So we're going to move to the next section. I actually love this section here, and it kind of it kind of comes into the whole concept is because it's about awareness, and this section is called Sugar Smash, and this is where we take 3 foods and I kind of smash these foods here, and I just say allow you to understand exactly how much sugar is inside it and how it affects your blood sugar. So we have 3 common foods here that may surprise you. So let's see what the first food is we're gonna smash. But before I tell you that, again, let me just reaffirm to you is that when you eat a carbohydrate, it turns to glucose in your body, and glucose is a form of sugar. So this banana, the Coke, the bread, the pasta, they are all forms of sugar when they turn into your body. Fruit turns into fructose, and the bread and the pasta turns into glucose. So they're all forms of sugar. Let me talk about the government guidelines. And these are the government guidelines. They talk about 9 teaspoons of sugar for a man, that's about 36 grams, and 6 teaspoons of sugar for a woman, which is about 25 grams. So that's the government guidelines. And they talk about added sugar, but it doesn't always take in consideration the sugar that is in food. And unfortunately, listen, your friends may be able to eat loads more sugar, loads more pasta, loads more rice, and nothing happens to them. And you just got to eat one bread and that's it. It's just life. It's just genetics. Genetics is not necessarily fair, but it is what it is. And you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, your health will suffer. So let's see what we're going to smash today. Okay, a medium-sized pepperoni pizza. Now, give you a couple of seconds if anybody wants to try and guess how many teaspoons of sugar is in this medium-sized pepperoni pizza, which people have all the time. A Friday night after having a drink, they go out, oh, let's have a pizza. Yeah, I mean, I used to enjoy pizzas. I mean, I still enjoy pizzas now because I can make a pizza from a low carb perspective, a delicious Caribbean pizza. So this medium size pepperoni pizza, I'm going to smash this pepperoni pizza and let's see how much sugar is in there. So look at that. That's 7.75 teaspoons. Yes, I mean, I think you get about 8 slices in a pizza, if you, Mr. P. I think that's what you get. Yeah, but look, there's 31 grams. That's 7.75. So that's over the 6 of 5 for you. Okay, fair enough. Yes, that's 5. So that's over the amount. So you've got to think that one slice, that one pizza. If you eat that medium pizza, that's 7.5 teaspoons. Let's see what we're going to smash here. Now look, here's an interesting one. This is Yo Valley fat-free vanilla yogurt. How much sugar would you say is inside this? This is fat-free. This is good. I mean, we're talking about, they advertise this all the time. Fat-free to lose weight, but there's something that they hide in these fat-free products, which why I don't advocate having fat-free or low fat products. And I'll tell you why. Look at this product. Let's smash it and see what's happening. Look, You're going to smash this yogurt here, and in there 3.8 teaspoons of sugar, 15.5 grams in this vanilla yogurt. Why? Because, just so you're aware, when they sell fat-free products, they laden it with sugar, because sugar, as they see, is not, they don't see it as fat. Yes, so they can put as much sugar in there as they want, but call it fat free, because they're selling this fat free to help you lose weight. So when you're buying products that are low fat and fat free, you really need to read the label. It is, I say this all the time, it is not fat you need to worry about. Well, polyunsaturated fat, not saturated fat, you don't have to worry about. I'll do a show on that. But it's sugar. Read the labels, learn to read labels. And I think I may do a show on on sugar. Yeah, and because sugar tastes nice and it's addictive. You know, sugar tastes addictive. Now, you know, just a very, very quick word on sugar. We have an endorphin called dopamine. And a lot of people think that dopamine, they say, is the pleasure hormone. So that means once you eat something, then dopamine comes. But dopamine is actually an anticipation. So dopamine actually comes when you think about it. So you have this rise in dopamine, and it gives you this anticipation, and that's what sugar does. Sugar is as addictive as cocaine, and I think I'll break that down to you in another show. So this is the last one. This is the Green Goddess. Again, look, we had the fat-free yogurt, which you would have thought was good for you. This is the Green Goddess juice, which is sold in Pret a Manger. It's green, isn't it? It's healthy. But let's see how much sugar is inside here, if you want to be careful what you eat. So in this, look at that, 2.6 teaspoons. You would think there's no real sugar. This is a totally healthy drink here, but it's not. It contains sugar. So you drink 2 or 3 of those, you've got nearly, what, say 7, 8 teaspoons of sugar in one day, or you drink two. So just be aware of what you are eating. Always read the label to be able to understand exactly how much sugar, especially if you're a pre-diabetic, because it's compound effect. You eat something with 3 teaspoons, something with four, something, and it goes up and up and up and up. You know, and you know, you eat so many little things throughout the day, and those numbers compound throughout the day. So it's so important to be able to read the labels and understand what you eat. And this is what this show is about, just as an awareness. You make a choice what you want to eat, but this is just an awareness. Everything I buy, I read the label. And if I do eat something that has a little bit more sugar in it, at least I'm aware of it and I factored it into my count. But don't be blind. Don't be blind about what you're eating. So that was a sugar smash today. Next week, we're back with 3 other foods to smash. We're going to move on to the final section today, and this is what we call the lean reflection. And in this section here, I am just going to leave you with a thought. Yeah, just leave you with a thought today. You know, one of the things that really derails people is when their emotions go haywire, when they feel sad. There's nothing worse than disrupting your discipline and your willpower when you feel sad. So I'm going to give you a kind of methodology to be able to lift your spirits each day. And you know, if you practice it, it can definitely help you feel better at the beginning of the day. And it involves 4 things. All right. So there are 4 things you need to focus on when you wake up in the morning. And this is the first thing. The first thing you focus on and you reflect on is you want to think about somebody who you look up to. Think about that person in the morning. If it's God, it's God. If it's your mentor, it's your mentor. If it's your parent, or if anybody who you admire and you look up to, and feel inspired by that person. Feel inspired by that person. And even if that you understand that person's nature, try and model that person. So that's the first thing you think about. Someone who you look up to. Now, for your day, you need purpose. So the next thing you do, you want to think about something to do for that day. Now, all of us have work, that's great, but is there something purposeful through the day that gives your day real meaning? Think about that. So, someone to look up to, and then you want to think about something to do that gives you real purpose and real meaning. The third thing you think about is something to look forward to in the evening. You know, we can all get through a day if we've got something to look forward to in the evening. So, in the morning, even if you've got a terrible job or you've got a really hard day, think about something that you've got to look forward to in the evening. That will help carry you through the day. So, the first thing is someone to look up to. The second thing is something purposeful to do in the day, which is going to give you a sense of purpose. And the third thing is you want to think about something that you have to look forward to in the evening. And the fourth thing is, which is incredibly important, think about something you have to be grateful for. Gratitude is such a powerful motivator. It can lift your spirit and it's within our control. Gratitude is within our control. And the power of gratitude to kind of raise your altitude is immense. I mean, I use gratitude immensely, so much in my program. So let me repeat those four things so you really can remember. Someone to look up to. And you can write these things down in your phone or a notepad. Something to do, something that gives you real purpose during the day. Something to look forward to in the evening. Yes, whatever that is, that's an experience with somebody, a movie, whatever you have to look forward to. And then finally, you want to think about something you have to be grateful for. These four things, if you practice it every morning, or even on a morning when you feel a little bit down, they will help to lift your spirit. And I tell you, when you feel good, you're more inclined to be able to stick to a lifestyle change that you'll start. But you know, when life is not going great for you, it's easy to be able to fall off track. So those four things will definitely help you. Let me just share with you what's happening later on in the week. Now, I have this planned here, which is, let me take the comments off so you can see it. I'll put the comments back on. This is called the Lean Brotherhood. Yes, it's the way of a leaner and fitter man. Ladies, it's just for men. It's happening on the 16th to the 21st of December. This is only for serious men. And it's gonna the focus of this is men who want to lose weight, but also men who want to manage their blood sugar. So if you're suffering from pre-diabetes and you want some assistance in getting it down, then this program will be for you. It's going to be a VIP coaching. It's going to be led by me and another person who other people are going to be involved, and it's going to be a VIP coaching. I held a session like this for a mixed group back in November last year, and one woman lost 21 pounds during the course of the program. I will hold another one at a later point focused on women, but this one particularly is just for men. So ladies, if you know men that need to lose some weight, need to improve their health and well-being, direct them to this program because it's going to be absolutely wonderful and intense. All right. On Monday coming, I have a great Make Health Your Habit podcast. I have Marilyn Devenish. This woman is absolutely amazing. When I read her CV, I just couldn't even take a breath. I mean, she's just so talented, so experienced. And it's on Monday at 7 p.m. Again, it's going to be on YouTube, and we're also going to stream. We're also going to stream live to LinkedIn with this one here. So that's on Monday, and we're going to be talking about stress. We're going to be talking about coping strategies in the COVID era. And also, if you work from home and you're finding it a bit challenging, she is a corporate coach, and we're going to be talking about some tips you can do to make your home more COVID friendly mentally while you're working from home. So that's going to be Monday. Now, look, all you have to do is go to my website and subscribe to be updated. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, just press the subscribe button and just, press it and the bell notification. and you'll be notified every time we put up a new live stream, because there's always an event notification first. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel, so you'll be notified about the Make Health Your Habit. And the following week on Make Health Your Habit, we have something called the Barbershop. It's going to be for men. That's going to be absolutely awesome, but I'll tell you about that. So that's what's happening. Again, if you want to purchase my book, all you got to do, go to the leanmindbodycoach.com, and you can purchase the book here. It's a wonderful book that I'm getting some great testimonies on, that again can help you lose weight and manage your blood sugar levels. All right, so that's it. That's the Lean Bite live for today. I will be back same time next week, sharing with you another aspect of the Lean Mind Body Method, or the areas it covers, and what you can do to adopt it in your life. The tribe community was closed down, but by this time next week, it will be opened up again, and we're giving away a free 2-week trial to Tribe. So you'll be able to try our Tribe community absolutely free for 2 weeks. That will also help with your weight and your blood sugar. But I'll tell you more about that next week. Listen, for now, it's a Wednesday. You do whatever you do. You enjoy the rest of your evening. Really appreciate all the comments and people giving some feedback. I appreciate you spending time with me here tonight. So until the next time, well, I'll see you on Wednesday. What I say is, remember, the best habit you can do, the best habit you can develop, is when you make health your habit. I'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.